What is going on, everybody? Let's see if this is working this time. My name is Matt. Welcome back to PlayStation Generation episode 20. And I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the PlayStation Hokage himself, Mr. Rice. Boy, Rice, what's up, dude?
Hey, what up, everybody? It's still not coming through, it looks like. It's just a dead stream. It says waiting. Weird.
What is going on tonight? Oh, hold on, wait. I see a live. We are good. We're good. We're back.
We're good. Oh, snap.
New link is live. Okay, cool.
Okay, good.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, folks. Tonight just seems to be broken on us, but we're here now. We're back in the driver's seat. We were talking earlier. Rice did some lawn mowing.
Yes,
right, my dude.
Yes, did some lawn mowing, hung out with the kiddo. Played with dirt. The stuff that you do outdoors, touching grass and all that. Hope that you guys are doing that as you gotta.
You gotta be doing all that stuff. You gotta be playing in the dirt. You gotta be hanging out.
Mondays.
I also we were saying I smell like chlorine. Because I went swimming with the little one today, and it's a week of chlorine. But on this super sexy late night cast of PlayStation Generation, we're joined by the man himself, the originator of Get Rich or Die Streaming. We got Denny. What's up, Denny?
Hey, what's up?
Thank you for sticking with us on this little bit of a wild ride tonight, as things seem to be breaking on us as we fix things hot.
Isn't that the fun of being live? Is just fixing everything in the moment.
That's has to
absolutely.
Be. There's nothing more fun than fixing things as they happen.
Are you even a creator if nothing goes wrong? Like,
right?
It's like, why make it easy? Why make it easy?
We play life on hard mode. Why not?
we play life on hard mode. Denny, my dude, thank you for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you. Before we get into the nitty and gritty of it, tell us a little bit about yourself, my dude.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me here. Really excited to do this. Just your average streamer guy doing his thing, playing lots of RPGs, lots of story-based games. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitch, and hopefully now I guess YouTube because of this. I'm on YouTube now. Hi, Mom. I'm on YouTube.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, make sure you're here over on youtube.com/console creatures, where you can see Denny's gorgeous face, hanging out with us. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. As Rice was commenting, that beard though, look,
that beard
good. You know what I'm saying?
That fresh cut too, the undercut, you had the fade going on.
You have to. You absolutely have to. Before we get into our regular rigmarole, we're going to take things in a bit of a left turn here and kick things off with a question to get to know Denny just a little bit better, because Steve Vigvari, a friend of the show, at SVegvari over on X, the seminal social media platform, writes in asking, "Hi, PlayStation Generation, long time at first time. Where does Denny come down on The Last of Us Part 2 being better than The Last of Us 1? K thinks, bye." And he had a little heart there, and that's, to me, how he said it. Steve, infamous for talking like that.
Oh, man. So this is the part where I leave the show early because everyone's going to hate me for saying this. I haven't played the second one, so I can't really give an opinion on it. I've only played the first, so right now, due to lack of additional information, it's only going to be the first one's the better one for me.
That's okay.
I'll
accept that.
Exactly. We'll let this one slide because you haven't played the better one. How can you properly formulate an opinion on which is better when you're missing? If you go to dinner, right, and you order, I would like a steak and mashed potatoes, and all they bring you is the mashed potatoes. How could you possibly comment on the steak?
I'm a vegetarian, so I probably would just get mashed potatoes.
Okay, if they brought
I'm messing. I'm totally kidding. I would totally be upset.
Grass with the side of more grass. How could you possibly comment on the second side of grass?
Exactly.
The first one.
The greener grass, if I might add.
That's true. And it's also on the other side of the table. So how are you going to know?
Truth.
we'll let this by, because you know what? Next time we'll have you on. We'll follow up, because I understand there's a backlog. I understand there's things keeping your attention. But it's The Last of Us Part 2. You know?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I'll get on it. I promise.
And truly, like they're I know that the comments and the tweets were putting a lot of pressure on you. It is divided. So you will find people on different sides of the argument here.
Yeah, like the right
even
song.
within our podcast here.
Like the right side and the wrong side, you know, like for example, of the two sides you might find. But it's okay. We'll circle back around to this next time, and you know,
exactly.
We'll see what happens from there. Denny, my dude, let's dive into a little bit of what you have been playing. Can you tell us a little bit about what's been keeping your attention lately?
Yeah, for sure. This weekend I just started the remake of Resident Evil 4, and when I'm not playing that, I'm heavily invested in Final Fantasy 14 online, doing MMO things.
Yeah,
you gotta be.
Yeah,
and you're in that new expansion, right?
Oh yeah, I'm in the new.
So I've heard pretty mixed opinions out there. And without getting into spoilers, because I'm still in Stormblood, I'm making my trek through to try and catch up to Dawn Trail. Because I said I'd catch up to Shadowbringers when Shadowbringers launched. I didn't do that. I said I'd get to Endwalker when Endwalker was capping. I didn't do that either. And when Dawn Trail came, I was like, I'm obviously gonna, and then I still haven't. But I've heard mixed opinions. People say that like there's some really good and some really not. Where are you landing on the scale of good to bad or so on?
It's not the best.
Okay.
It's definitely not the worst. You'll love aspects of it, but just like you said, there's a lot of stuff for people. There's some people that I know that have played further than I have, and they're not happy.
Okay.
There's a general tone with this expansion that people are not enjoying, given where you stand when you come off the other expansions.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts when you do get to the end, because it seems like there's a lot of people that are saying that your enjoyment of this is based on a singular character and how much you enjoy that character or not. So
I believe it.
In terms of ice cream flavors, what ice cream flavor would you say that this character is?
What a question.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
You.
Ice
that
cream
one in the
flavor.
hopper. Yeah, dude.
I'm a vanilla guy. So no, I think
that's my sex life.
Not tonight, baby. That was a mint chip.
I think you know what? It would be like a rocky road. A lot of bumps, a lot of twists and turns, but you know what? In the end, it all works.
It's a good bite of ice cream.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great answer. I like that answer a lot. It is a bit of a rocky road, but that's okay. I love Rocky Road. Can't hate. And Resident Evil 4 is going well. You're enjoying that one?
Oh, totally. It's as good as the original, if not a little bit better. You know, quality of life improvements. Great game. Awesome nostalgia trip for me because I played the original one when it came out.
Yeah, it was my commuter game for a little while last year. I played it on Steam Deck and genuinely shocked by how good it runs on deck. Like genuinely blown away because of how good it still looks and how awesome it was. Really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad you're enjoying it as well. Rice, my dude. What about you, my friend?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I have a different answer for you guys this week. You know,
instead Destiny backwards.
I actually have taken a break from Destiny. Not just because I wanted to give a different answer today, but because I've actually been in my my anime comeback arc.
I love this. Go on.
Yes, absolutely. And you'll love this next part too. I have been committing to watching One Piece.
Yes.
And
we're back.
So I am in it. I am fully in it. And as a result of watching One Piece, I have been playing a ton of anime games. So between Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot, Dragon Ball Fighters,
Ooh,
and even
yeah.
just My Hero Academia. That one is not necessarily a good game, but a game that I'm enjoying. You know those ones.
Yep.
And I've been just like fully in the anime space lately. Like I just finished Jujutsu Kaisen, and One Piece is my current focus, right? But other than those things, I know that I've been talking about gaming with the kiddo, and we've jumped back into Spider-Man 2. He just loves web swinging and doing all the things while we go through the story there. So yeah, that's what's been taking up my time, not Destiny 2. Let's freaking go. I love it. I love it.
Listen, I'm super stoked you're on your One Piece journey. I have to ask, where are you in it?
I'm very, very early on. I'm in like episode 50.
Okay, so you're like
You're like
1% of the way
1%
there.
of the
Yes,
way.
exactly.
Like,
But
well,
I'm committing. I'm watching it every day. So that's what's been happening.
episode 50. Let me take a shot in the dark here. Episode 50 is that no, that's too late for Usopp's arc. Is that Baratier? Is that Sanji's arc?
I'm still looking. It's a little after Sanji, actually.
Okay. So are you in Drum Island?
Here, hold on. Let me just actually check where I am at.
Okay. I'm a
because I'm not as well versed in, I'm still kind of taking in all of the names and all
Are
of
you
the
with
places.
Are you with Chopper? Are you with the reindeer?
Yes.
You're on Drum Island. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
I love that arc deeply. I have a massive love for One Piece. So it makes me very, very happy that you're on that journey. So I'm excited to hear. You can talk about it every week, bro, and you're never gonna make me upset. Okay, we'll talk about it.
It has such good writing. Oh my goodness.
Bro. Just wait till episode 463.
Yeah.
and no word of a lie, it's all fantastic. I would tell you to look up a filler list and skip the filler.
Yes.
The filler outside of there's one specific filler arc that I am blanking on the name of, but I'll double check. Watch that one, skip the rest. But that's not up until like episode 200, so you got some time.
Yeah, okay.
Glad you're enjoying it though. As for myself, I'm still locked in on fights in tight spaces. I can't stop playing this game.
That's awesome.
It's just so addicting, and I haven't beat it yet. I get to the second last like section of the roguelike experience, and I keep going down in that one, but it's the fights are quick. The just one more run itch is real. It is just really, really, really good. Having a ton of fun of that one. And I also played and reviewed a game called Thank Goodness You're Here, one of the funniest games I've ever played. My review's over live on butwilo.net, so go check it out there. It is a very, very British game with a ton of British humor. You play this little dude, and as you're waiting for the mayor, you just get set on the town to help all the townsfolk. It is weird as hell. It is very, very strange, but I could not stop laughing throughout the 2 to 3 hours that it took me to beat it. But I got full thoughts over on But Why Though, so go check that out. But I really, really enjoyed it. Without further ado, my friends, let's hop into some news, because boy, how do we have a bunch. And let's kick things off with a little bit of Remedy, because coming from IGN, written by Ryan Dinsdale, Control 2 in production readiness stage at Remedy, Max Payne remake in full production. Control 2 is now in the production readiness stage at Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment, while the Control multiplayer spinoff and Max Payne 1 and 2 remake have entered full production. Remedy revealed the progress in its latest financial earnings report, confirming Control 2 has quote-unquote passed the proof of concept stage and has progressed to production readiness stage. And similarly, Max Payne 1 and 2 is in full swing. Denny, are you a big Remedy guy? Did Control do anything for you? Are you stoked about a sequel? Max Payne, where are you at on all this stuff?
I'm stoked for Max Payne 1 and 2.
Okay.
Those are the two Max Payne games I missed, because I think I originally did not have an Xbox, and I remember them coming out for Xbox.
Okay.
Max Payne 3 I've played. I've also watched my friend play Max Payne 3 and get stuck right at the final like area and can't get out of it. So it's great to watch him struggle at that. But I think it'll be good. I think it's been a while since we've had that type of game. bullet time was a mechanic that was really cool and overused back then. It's time to bring it back.
That, you know what? That is a really good point, because I can't remember the last time I remember a game having bullet time. And in that period, I feel like Max Payne kicked it off. It was like Max Payne and the Matrix that simultaneously
Enter
were
the
like,
Matrix.
yeah,
Enter the
prepare yourselves
Matrix.
for bullet time, and then it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Bryce,
Yeah,
my dude,
yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, man. So I really loved Control. I loved my experience with Control. It gave me like really good gunplay, some really cool visuals from a third person perspective, a really interesting narrative, and also a little bit of spooky.
Mhm.
It wasn't like super spooky, but like, you know, enough for me
Eerie.
to be like, yeah, like enough for me to kind of look over my shoulder, because I was playing it in the dark and stuff. So I am excited for Control, and just as well, you know, the Max Payne games. I actually missed those when they were first out. I didn't play them until much later, in where that mechanic was kind of overplayed, and so I perhaps didn't enjoy them as much as people did when it was first here.
Mhm.
And you know, I experienced Enter the Matrix as well, as you guys have alluded to. So I'm interested to see what they can do for these remakes, man. Like, hey, remakes are awesome, and so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm with you both. I've been becoming a bit more of a Remedy stan lately. I
Mm,
played and really loved Control up until like the last couple hours. I feel like they went to Monster Closet right at the end there. And then after playing Alan Wake 1 and 2,
yeah,
and the DLC, I feel like both of those games did the Monster Closet at the end in much more interesting
totally.
ways. But I am really excited. I loved 90% of it. So I'm really
Right.
excited to see what a new Control looks like. I feel like Remedy's gotten really confident. I feel like Alan Wake 2, they kind of came out like strutting their stuff. Like they were like, you are all gonna love this.
Yeah.
And true enough, anybody who's played it has really loved it. And Max Payne 1 and 2, I have a friend, one of my best friends, who loved these games growing up, and I never played them. So for me, I'm really excited for the opportunity to check these out proper. Tech Goggles in the chat, any news on if Max Payne is like GTA Vice City UE4 remake, or is it like an actual remake? The language that they're using is remake. So that leads to me, because I think the GTA Vice City stuff, they did use remaster.
Yeah.
Right.
So from remake to me sounds like a from the ground up. I think those games would need a lot of love to kind of bring them up to today's standard. And
Yeah.
Remedy, I don't think ships anything that's not like, here is the new visual standard. Here is the new
Yeah.
stuff in this day and age.
From the bottom up. Yeah.
100%. So I'm really excited to see what these look like. I'm in. Alan Wake
Totally.
2 got me to the point now where like whatever Remedy comes out with, I'm there day one.
Yeah, totally.
Like they could put out like Shuffleboard tomorrow, and I'd be like, I'm there. Whatever you're doing with
cards.
add to cart. I want it. I'll review it. You give it to me, Remedy, and I'm there
Right now.
right now. Our next story comes to us from the cute little world of Astro Bot from VGC, written by Jordan Midler. The Astro Bot limited edition DualSense controller is available for pre-order, but selling out fast. These things went live just before the weekend. I think it was on Friday or on Saturday, hitting all over the world. Us Canadians can get it. I don't know if anywhere anymore. I missed the initial drop.
Yes.
I'm actually going to bring in a question, because we have a question about it. Justin D at Justin writing in saying, you guys pick up the Astro Bot controller. I missed the first round. I was in en route to my parents, and I think I missed the first drop. GameStop like sold out immediately. Amazon gone.
Mm-hmm.
Best Buy gone. Walmart Canada had to drop theirs a bit later. I guess they had some issues with like the partner that they're working on for like or the supplier, and I caught that Walmart restock today, and boy howdy, I locked that controller down. Did either one of you gun it for the Astro Bot controller?
I didn't. I missed this. I really like it. I'm not like jumping up and down to buy like a new controller, but like, hey, if you really wanted that and you got your hands on it, like, I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? So I love it for anyone who got it.
Yeah, man, I'm locked in. Denny, are you like a controller collector when it comes to this stuff?
Yeah, sometimes. I'm skipping this one for one reason and one reason only.
Tell me.
There's no Astro Booty on the back.
Oh, you wanted the Astro booty. Okay,
No.
okay. That's fair.
I'm canceling my pre-order. Right?
Give it back. Sony, do better.
Take it back. If there's no booty on these controllers, I'm not buying them no more.
Yo, for real.
No, I missed out on it. I love the controllers that I can find. I'm actually literally looking at eBay right now, contemplating paying the $160 for it.
And
I might add to cart. Check in with me before we finish.
I will. I'm gonna write that down. Astro check in. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. I think this controller is great. But I will say the one thing that has kind of sullied just a little bit of my excitement for it is that when Court was like, the controller's eyes blink, and I was like, no, they don't, dude. And they don't.
Yeah,
it was a wish. They blink in like the trailer for the controller, but they don't blink in actuality. And now I really wish that thing would blink at me just to give me a little bit of joy in my day.
I mean, they look like they should. Like that would be worth the money. Like that would be a day one purchase.
I would be jumping. Yeah, I would be jumping at that if the eyes were blinking.
I wish they got the lights under there anyway. Just kind of add them in.
Man.
This little shimmy. But to be fair, there was another comment. I can't remember who it was. One of the community members was basically like, but then the DualSense would last 2 hours,
right?
Which is also
that's fair.
I'm fine with that.
A fair point. Yeah, seriously, if it blinked at me, that's fine. That's 2 hours of them looking at me with those big beautiful blue eyes. Let's ride on to our next story, because coming from VGC, once again written by Jordan Midler, Vampire Survivors is coming to PlayStation later this month. All of the game's DLCs will also be released later this month. The game will release on PS4 and PS5 on August 29th, along with all of the DLC. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a roguelike shoot 'em up that sees players choosing one of numerous characters who then automatically attack as the player fights through waves of monster with the aim of being to survive for as long as possible. I will confess, okay? I saw the hullabaloo around Vampire Survivors when it came out, okay? I tried it. I was like, I don't get it. A lot of people were like, this should be a Game of the Year contender. This game is real good. And I was just like, no. Then I went through a little bit of family strife. There was some stuff going on that I had to go stay at my family home for a little while. My brother had to as well. And in the midst of all the stressful days while we were dealing with some health issues in the family, at night, we would just sit down and be like, do you want to play something? And we're like, let's fire up Vampire Survivors.
Right.
It was mindless. And when I tell you how hard that game clicked in that moment, and we played it nonstop, night in, night out for the entire week and a bit that we were at home. Yeah. This game is really good co-op. I don't love it the same way I do by myself, but playing with friends or playing with family, it just hits. It hits so hard. Are either one of you Vampire Survivor stands?
So
I am now.
You okay. I share the almost the exact same sentiment. It's because, like, I don't know. I like progressing through levels with people. Especially when it's like it's kind of just all chaotic and stuff. But that type of mindlessness, I like to kind of I like it when it coincides with like conversation. So like if I am playing co-op with someone, it's usually because I am chatting with them and also playing a mindless game. So this game did that for me. Although it wasn't something that like I was like, oh, this is an amazing game and I am going to recommend this to everybody. It's not for everybody. I think that if you try it, and then if you have good experiences around the game, then I think you'll get back to it. But it's not for everyone.
Denny, what about you?
Yeah, I actually agree. Rice took the words right out of my mouth. Like a mindless game when you're couch co-oping with someone and you're just the conversation's flowing and it's a good time. It's a great vibe. I didn't play it when it came out, I believe for PC. But I saw the trailer for the PS4 and PS5 announcement, and right away, just the tongue-in-cheekness of that trailer. I mean, there's one line where they're like, for the cost of a peri peri chicken wrap, you can get this game. Right? Then I was like, you know what? That's a damn good deal. I'm buying this game. Whoever comes over can get the peri peri chicken wraps. But
done deal.
No, it looks like a fun game. It looks a little crazy, looks a little hectic, but yeah, it looks awesome. I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, I'm stoked for more people to check it out because again, I know a lot of people who really liked it playing solo. To each their own. That wasn't for me, but
Sure.
again, for a couch co-op experience, which similarly to Bullet Time are few and far between nowadays.
Right.
It's a great way to spend some time with some friends. Heavily recommended on that front. I think it's still on Game Pass. So
Mhm.
if you're not ready to drop dollars on it, that's fine. Check it out there. But you can't really go wrong. Let's roll on to our next story coming from the PlayStation blog this time because the God of War PC, God of War Ragnarok PC system requirements have been revealed. This is from Grace or Lady, the lead community manager at Santa Monica. We got a whole bunch of stuff here on the PlayStation blog going into the graphic settings across minimum, recommended, high, performance, and ultra. And it's a bunch of the standard PC techno babble. My mind turns off. All I want to know is, will it play on Steam Deck? That is the extent of my knowledge when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I don't want to shut this out because it's out. That's coming out like September 19th, right? Yeah, it's just around the corner. But yeah, I'm really curious to see if it'll play on Steam Deck. God of War 2018 did well enough that it was an enjoyable experience. Is the PC launch enough for either one of you to double dip?
No.
Or single dip if you haven't yet dipped?
I mean, I just loved my experience on the PlayStation. I probably won't double dip, but like I'm excited for people to get into this who have not been introduced to Ragnarok just yet. So yeah, man, it's a win. It's a win for those players, and I really hope that they enjoy because it's a phenomenal game.
The one thing that I will say that I know folks on the Steam Deck subreddit are curious because I don't think we have a direct answer for it yet. Is if PlayStation's new overlay will prevent this from working on Steam Deck, because everything up until this point works on Steam Deck. Spider-Man, Horizon, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima's single player all work. Ghost of Tsushima Legends does not work on Steam Deck because it requires the PlayStation network link, and the infrastructure just isn't set up for that to work. God of War is a single player game, but it seems like PlayStation might be putting this overlay because it links trophies, because it does X, Y, and Z onto games moving forward. So I would say for any Steam Deck folks, maybe wait for reviews to see if this is going to work, because you need Windows for that overlay to work. And given that Steam Deck is Linux based, unless you dual boot, it may not work, which sucks because
that's a bummer.
Ragnarok is still a PS4 game. It won't run probably at best more than 35 frames per second on a Steam Deck. But having it on the go would be really cool. So I will toss that asterisk down for any Steam Deckers. I don't know if that's what the name is. That's what I'm going to run with. Even though it makes me feel a little gross.
Put it on a shirt, bro.
Yeah, Steam Deckers. That's
the name of another podcast right there.
That is the name of another podcast right there. And also possibly a dirty sex thing, because that's what reminds me of. What is it?
Imagine
steamroller.
I thought of Upper Decker.
I was just thinking of someone from New Zealand saying Steam Deckers.
I wish I had your brain, right? That's such a better thing. And I could not, you know what? I could totally be down with like Taika Waititi saying Steam Deckers like that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm thinking about crap. So is Denny, though, just in a different place.
It's fine.
Yes.
Fine.
We're in that same realm. It's fine.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Let's roll on to our Steam Deckers Cleveland edition. Jay Lydian in the chat. That is unfortunately correct. Let's roll on to our last couple stories, because the PS5 has now hit 61 million lifetime sales. This is coming from Chris Scullion over at VGC. Year-on-year, Q1 hardware sales fall, but operating income rises. I just want to single out a couple of things. PlayStation 5 now past 61 million units sold, despite having a relatively quiet 3-month period. The results were generally positive for Sony's gaming division overall, with Q1 sales in the game and network services segment up 12% year on year and operating income up 32%. Down on the 3.3 million PS5 sales sold during Q1 period of last year, but still 2.4 million PS5s is nothing to shake your hat at. What is the saying? My mind just exited the building halfway through that sentence.
Idioms are weird.
It's nothing to shake your what at. What word belongs? Fist at? Maybe fist.
Shake your fist.
Testicles.
Yeah.
Nothing to shake your testicles at. Let's
I
go
like
with
it.
that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah, it's 61 million units sold. It's a lot. PS5 continues to be an absolute juggernaut when it comes to sales. Xbox stopped talking about the Xbox Series X and X a long time ago. So clearly PS5 continues to be this runaway thing, even slowing down a little bit. Rice, let me ask you this. PS4, obviously, a massive, ridiculous success, a crazy sales numbers, one of the top selling consoles of all time. Do you think the PS5 stands a chance at getting close to those sales numbers? Lifetime, obviously.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I think that this based on this year, PlayStation news, if we're focusing on the PlayStation news, I think that sales kind of reflected some people's opinions about PlayStation.
Shake your stick at. Sorry, Rice. It's shake your stick at.
Oh,
thank you, Jay Lydian.
Thank you for that.
Bothering me.
Wow.
Yeah. Go on, Rice. Sorry to interrupt.
No. All this to say that I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard to say because like PlayStation 5 like did so well like off the top, you know what I mean? And these slowdowns they could be attributed to kind of like the drought that people have felt in the PlayStation realm, but at the same time that could ramp up really quickly if we get some announcements that we've been talking about in these past few podcasts. If they if they make a push for the Pro, if they make pushes for new AAA experiences and titles dropping earlier than we expect. So I think it has potential to, but I think it hinges on perhaps PlayStation's presentation of what's next.
Danny, let me ask you this, because I think Rice is onto something here. There has been a bit of a first party drought. What do you think PlayStation needs to load in and soon to get these sales moving again? Because again, still selling well, but like what could relaunch this back into the sales that they want to try and climb up these charts?
I think it's twofold. I think you need a newer IP because I think we're still seeing a lot of remakes, remasters, and while they're great, if you've already played them on the PS4, what's really motivating you to get them on a PS5? What's motivating you to get a PS5?
Right.
And I think also, bring out the Pro. I think the Pro came out for the PS4 in 2016, like holiday 2016, almost 4 years into its life cycle, and that's where we are right now with the PS5. Right. I think as soon as I saw this headline, my first thought was, you know what? There's probably a lot of people who skipped the Slim and are just holding out for a Pro.
Right.
And once that Pro comes and people are going to be buying and people are going to be double dipping. I know I will definitely double dip and get a Pro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So I'll be that +1, but I've already bought a PS5 on that list.
Yeah, big same. Like I'm obviously, we have a PlayStation podcast. I'll obviously be there day zero. Like I'll be in line wherever I need to be at 5 a.m. To pick this thing up. But yeah, there's rumors and stuff that PS5 might be lining up a banger of a year for next year. There may be a lot coming. If we get in a world where we get the likes of Wolverine, GTA 6, even announcements for stuff like Ghost of Tsushima 2 or anything else that PlayStation may have in their hopper that they're just not ready to talk about yet. I'm waiting for this to skyrocket. I think this could crack 100 mil by the time all is said and done. I think it could, get up there in the numbers. But you never know. Jay Liddy in the chat, did you not buy a PS5 twice for whatever reason, Denny?
No, I did not buy a PS5 twice. I have one, and then my little brothers have one, and sadly, they got theirs first.
Oh,
So
Inexcusable.
I have my own PS5, but they use my
Okay.
account for the PlayStation Plus games.
Are you
Ooh.
also the eldest brother?
Yes.
Me too. And I think it's just ridiculous that they don't just come and offer us things
Right?
when they like it should be like a chain of command thing. This should be a thing.
Absolutely.
Seniority.
100%.
Come on now.
I
saying.
get dibs.
Yeah,
I'm the one with the adult money.
100%.
Exactly.
Like, just come and present things to me. Just shower me with praise. That's all I ask.
How many siblings do you guys have?
I got 2 younger brothers.
2 younger brothers?
As do I, 2 younger brothers.
Right. I got 2 sisters.
Are you the oldest?
I am the middle.
Okay. Do you pledge fealty to your older sister? Do you bring her and give her things? Because if not, we're about to have words.
I helped her paint her new room the other day. I was there the whole day.
How many moons ago was this? Because if this is something like 5 years ago,
He
bull
did say
hockey-
the other day, didn't he?
I
No,
know,
this
but
this is on the weekend.
okay. That's so quite literally the other day.
Yeah,
My
Did you
brother's-
buy the paint though?
Yeah, that's a real question.
Did you buy the paint?
No, it was just the labor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, fine. Still, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's round off talking. Do we want to talk Fortnite? I don't have a lot to say, but if we want to talk Fortnite, we can talk Fortnite.
I mean, Fortnite is Fortnite. They do a lot of collaborations that do well for them, and that is pretty much what we have to say about that.
Okay, beep, beep, boop, boop. We're moving on to our topic of the show, the big boy. Coming from ourselves over here at Console Creatures, Crafton revives Tango Gameworks, acquires Hi-Fi Rush IP, written by the big dog, Bobby himself. South Korean publisher Krafton announced it is reviving Tango Gameworks and welcoming back the employees as the company makes its first investment in the Japanese gaming market. Additionally, Krafton has purchased the Hi-Fi Rush IP from Microsoft. A press release indicates Krafton is working with Microsoft and ZeniMax to quote-unquote ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP. Krafton says it will support Tango Gameworks as it continues to create and innovate fresh experiences. I love this news in year where I feel like we're just constantly talking about studio closures and layoffs and people losing their livelihood. I don't know much about Krafton, but I'll give them ups on this one for coming in and saving an incredibly talented studio, arguably at the height of their game. I know a lot of people really like The Evil Within 1 and 2, but Hi-Fi Rush really launched them into another stratosphere. The game is incredible. So for them to get, taken out way too early by Microsoft and then get touted about how, we need more smaller games from smaller teams the week after they closed them was bullshit. So I just wanted to talk about this because I think this is a huge win in a sea of crappy news. This is great stuff. Denny, where are you at on this? Did you like Hi-Fi Rush? How are you feeling about the revival of Tango?
It's great. You hit the nail on the head. Can we get Krafton to introduce them to EA games, please? So they stop shutting down all those studios. Like, it's nuts how many times we hear that same song and dance that someone acquires a studio, they put out a game, it's closed, it's gone, it's done. And then there's a lot of just repetitive IPs out there. So this is great news. It's made me happy. And I haven't played a lot of The Evil Within, but I have played Hi-Fi Rush. As long as they're able to keep doing what they're doing and putting out high quality content, more power to them.
Rice, my dude, where are you at on this?
Dude, this is like the most exciting news ever. First of all, Hi-Fi Rush fully streamed that game with my community, and we had a blast. We had an absolute blast with that game. Every single aspect we loved, and even if you're not a rhythm gamer, it is such an enjoyable experience. I can also speak to The Evil Within, which my sister played on stream. So 2 very just intricately woven stories and games. Whether your opinion is good or bad of them, Evil Within was a pretty unique experience, at least in my opinion. And Ghostwire Tokyo. Have either of you guys played Ghostwire Tokyo?
I did, and I
Mhm.
really liked it. It was janky,
A little
and
bit.
it was a little bit janky, and it was always very good at times, great. But I
Sure.
really enjoyed my time with it, and like I really hope that a sequel is in the horizon because I
Yeah.
feel like if that team had more time,
Mhm.
to really drill down and take what they built with the first one and iterate it onto the second one, I think it could be really awesome. I think that that
Yes.
game is so slept on,
Yeah,
so slept
same.
on.
Same. And like I what I loved about it, right, is that there's some really deep Japanese lore that's really easily accessible through the database or whatever the encyclopedia of the game is called. And I found that I learned a lot about um how the Japanese view the afterlife, spiritual beings, and how they interact with humans. And so that aspect of Ghostwire Tokyo was so good. And I just think that um the deeper that lore goes for players like myself, they just keep me playing the game. So that's what kept me playing Ghostwire Tokyo. All of these IPs I think are just like phenomenal. So I'm really excited. This is awesome news. And I hope everybody is excited about this.
I'm with you, dude. Denny, let me ask you this: if you could look into your crystal ball and you could be the one to predict or the one to decide what comes next out of Tango, do you think we get a Hi-Fi Rush 2? Do you think we get a new IP? Do we think Evil Within 3? Where do you think they're going next?
I think they do a Hi-Fi Rush too.
Mhm,
Honestly, I
mhm.
think that would be
Let's
it.
go.
You've already got two Evil Within's. Maybe you do some sort of side story or side game for Ghostwire, but I think
Mhm.
Hi-Fi Rush is where it's at.
I'm with you entirely. I think especially given how celebrated Hi-Fi was, to be
Yeah.
like, "We're back," like, we're still in it, to come out swinging with Hi-Fi Rush 2. I feel like lately we've seen a resurgence of platformers that take the kind of core DNA of what those games are and
Mm.
really make them something cool. Hi-Fi Rush is what a GameCube and PS2 era platformer should be in the year of the Lord 2024. Like
Yeah.
to take it to take
Agreed.
it for what it is, the art style, the music, the change up on gameplay, the adding of the rhythm mechanics on top of it, it's just so clever in everything that it does.
Mhm.
It's like a Saturday morning cartoon, like it bursting out, with its Capri Sun and everything else, and just like slapping you in the face with it in the best way.
Yes.
Rice, what about you? Is it Hi-Fi Rush 2 or is it something else?
I want Hi-Fi Rush too. Like I
Mhm.
want and desire that with my very soul. Even like Chai was such a memorable character. All of the characters that supported that protagonist was so great. The humor, the music, which by the way, if you were streaming it, you couldn't play the copyrighted music. There was a full soundtrack of copyright-free music for people to experience on stream. What the frig, man? It was awesome. It was so awesome. So give me that Hi-Fi Rush 2. I'm excited about it.
Shout out Guardians of the Galaxy for doing the same.
Yeah.
They had the
Oh
streamer
yeah.
mode, which had like a lot of great tracks that were written for the game,
Yes.
that took out all the licensed music. But shout out when games do that. That's just awesome. That's real
For
cool.
real.
But yeah, like I'm very happy Tango has another lease on life. I'm
Yeah.
very happy that they seem to be working with Microsoft and ZeniMax to kind of literally just it's another day at the studio.
Right.
Hopefully, a lot of the talent, was able to kind of retain their positions properly. And I hope that all things are well there now and will continue to be moving forward. Just an incredibly talented studio. We lose far too many. We've lost far too many in the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see at least this one get a new lease on life. So shout out to them. We're waiting, Tango, for whatever's next. We will be there.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, my friends, let's round the show out with a couple questions still lingering in the hopper because Chris Zazer
Okay.
writes in saying, in honor of hashtag Deadpool and Wolverine hitting
Yes.
theaters, which two PlayStation characters would you like to see team up for a crossover video game? Oh, and who do you think is the anchor being of the PlayStation platform? So let's drill down in the first one and then we'll loop back around to the second part. But if you could take two PlayStation characters and team them up for a crossover video game, who are you pairing up? What is the game? What are we doing here? Give me a crossover. Whichever one of you is ready to roll first, hit me with it.
Yo. Okay,
Okay,
Denny, you go. You got it. You got it.
You got to go old school. So you got to bring back the original mascots of the PlayStation. You got to
Okay.
do Spyro and Crash Bandicoot.
Ooh,
Right? You have
I
to.
like
And
that.
I mean,
Nices.
especially with Neo Cortex being the villain, there's a lot of possibility there.
It is a crime that the only crossover that we got between those two characters was on the Game Boy Advance of all places.
We did. Those were horrible. They were so bad.
Right?
How do you take two iconic, granted, no longer PlayStation IP characters and cross them over on the Game Boy Advance? Why didn't PlayStation do it first? I'm with you, Denny. I
Right.
want that. I want that now. But okay, tell me, what does the game look like? You're crossing over these two characters. If you have to build out what this game looks like, what is it?
Off the top of my head, I'd
Mhm.
probably do something similar to like Banjo Kazooie, like how
Okay.
you have the two of them together and you kind of have Spyro doing a little bit more of the flying elements. You've got Crash Bandicoot doing the platforming. And then throw in some sort of like tag team when you're fighting bosses, like some cool super like tag team moves. Kind of an awesome platformer hybrid beat 'em up
Dude.
type of game.
This
Okay.
I just pictured like Spyro kind of like backpacking onto Crash, and Crash does the spin move while Spyro breathes fire, and then you have a spinning fire attack.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm about it. I'm about it a lot. Rice, my dude, what are you combining?
This is such a weird thought, but like Heihachi from Tekken and Kratos.
Two angry
like
old
it.
men.
Two angry old men who are fathers and fundamentally father very differently.
So you tossing Atreus off a cliff? Is that what he did, or you threw him in a volcano? What did Heihachi do?
Heihachi threw Kazuya into a volcano. That is
That's what it was.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. So trying to murder his
Tough love.
bloodline. Yeah,
love.
yeah, exactly. And Kratos, like his arc goes a little bit different. And I think that game would be, you would choose either character and they
Mhm.
would go through a story, and those characters actually converge at one point and have to team up, but not because they want to. It's kind of like an uncanny Avengers moment where they're just like at odds.
I like that reference a lot. Okay, I'm with you. I think that would be pretty cool. I think for mine, I want Ratchet. I'm going old school too. I want a Ratchet and Clank team up with Sly and the crew. Like I in my mind, like imagine like they have to go in because there's some like gun or something at some like
Mhm.
museum banquet, and like Ratchet goes in loud, guns blazing, and like you're warping between Ratchet's kind of loud shooting area and Sly kind of sneaking up in the
Yeah.
rafters, Clank and Bentley in the truck working together on like the man in the chair side. I would love to see these two characters combine. I think
Let's
graphically it
go.
would like just give me like a full-on cel-shaded comic book looking style version of both of these characters, and do it so this like you have like this dual perspective. You can go in loud, you can go in sneaky. Both of these things, like can you imagine like a top-down perspective, right? Sly sneaking up on like the rafters going across a hallway, and you just see Ratchet underneath, just like blamming away.
Yes.
I'd be about it.
That sounds awesome.
I got an honorable mention.
Hit me.
Aloy
Mhm.
and Astro Bot.
Okay, tell me more.
Bro, you know how in a lot of open world games the protagonist does have kind of like a
Cute
the
little one?
1-2 punch. Yeah, cute little one. Astro Bot's just chilling. And somehow Astro Bot also becomes like integrated with how Aloy interacts with tech
With like
of
the
the old
focus.
world. Yeah, like the focus. And so Astro would then be integral into that gameplay. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. I also have an honorable mention. PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale 2. I will beat this drum until I'm blue in the face. Give me more than 2. Give me all of these characters back.
Facts.
All Stars Battle Royale did not get the respect it deserved. Who's the PlayStation anchor being? Denny, have you seen Deadpool Wolverine?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're all
when
on
I
the
saw
same
it
page.
opening weekend.
Yes.
Perfect. I like you a lot. Who is the anchor being of
Who is the
PlayStation?
anchor being? Ooh.
I think it has to be Nathan Drake.
You think?
I think so. I think like in PlayStation's current state, I feel like Crash and Spyro were like zapped into alternate universes already. They're part of like
They're in the
PlayStation
void.
multi.
They're in the void.
They're in the void. Good call. I feel like Drake, even still, I think kind of is that anchor point. While like Wolverine may not have been the main part anymore, it was the events of Logan that kind of apparently spun out what Deadpool and Wolverine was. I
Right.
still think it is Drake. I think it could become someone else, but I
Yeah.
still don't think we're done with Uncharted. I still don't think we're done with Drake, whether it's he's back in like a Sully role or something. I think in this era of PlayStation, when I think of what really kicked things off and is still relevant today, it's Uncharted. And I
Right.
think it could be Drake. I could see an argument for Ellie, but even then, I think it's still built on what Drake did before The Last of Us came out. So my answer is Nathan Drake. I think he's still the PlayStation anchor being right now.
That is a good answer. That is a good answer. And it's forcing me to formulate a response here.
My first thought, honestly, was I think Kratos would have been the anchor being.
Kratos is also a very good answer,
right?
Chris.
Because you've got
Mhm.
two mythologies that he's gone through.
Right.
That is a really, and again, been around since the PS2.
Exactly.
Right. So arguably outside of the sacred timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Could be. I like Kratos a lot, because I actually do think that his relevance is still important now. And similarly, I don't think we're done with him.
Yeah.
And he'd be one hell of an anchor being to try and take out for whatever reason if that ever came push to shove. Rice, do you have
those are two really good ones. I was gonna say Ellie, but then you convinced me out of Ellie into Nathan Drake.
I think, but Denny convinced me out of Nathan Drake into Kratos. I'm happy with either one of these answers because I think they both honor the lineage of what PlayStation's been for the last number of years on top of still being relevant in today's day and age. I like that answer a lot. I like that answer a lot. Our final question. It's a good question. Chris Zazer with 2 back-to-back heaters. Our final question comes from Ed Varnell at the Boss Rush Network at that retro code. Do you think PlayStation has been the host for known genre games for particular console generations? Like PS2 was the system for RPGs, PS3 was cinematic action adventures. What genre do you think the PS5 will be, or could it be more of one kind of genre if they were released? I love this question. I think this is a really good question because
really deep.
I think the PS5 hasn't found its footing for it yet.
Yep.
I think you're spot on with PS2 being known for the RPGs. I think PS3 and even the PS4 was really known for the blockbuster PlayStation first party titles. And I don't think we've seen enough because right now I would say PS5 is the remakes. Like if I was being honest, across The Last of Us, across the Horizon remake apparently coming, a lot of the PS4 first parties having another life on PS5, I'd say it's kind of the genre of remakes is where it lives. I think it could be something else.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's like, yeah, you're so right. Like, and it is indicative of where we have been at in terms of our relationship as consumers with the PlayStation 5, right? Like we do want more. Like we are craving so much more. So yeah, I would agree. I would agree that it doesn't necessarily give as much as the PlayStation 2 and 3 and 4 did in terms of like this host of a genre type. So yeah, I don't know if we even really landed on an answer there, but rather it doesn't have its footing.
I'm gonna step in here and play devil's advocate for a minute.
Okay.
Love it.
Because I think, and I don't know if I have my thoughts across. There's 2 things that I think of. I still think, and maybe this is like brand or country loyalty, I think PlayStation still is the home for RPGs.
Okay.
Me being a huge Final Fantasy fan, Final Fantasy 16 was a great game and only came out on PS5.
Right.
They've had Final Fantasy 14 online for a long time as well. But even if you step out of that, games that were on the Switch, like Octopath Traveler 2, came out simultaneously on the PS5 and then came out 6 months later
Right.
on Xbox.
Mhm.
So I think there's that level there, and you're getting plus if you lean in on PlayStation Plus, you are getting those older RPGs as well, right? Like
True.
they
Mhm.
just re-released Legend of Dragoon. You've got all the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. You've got Dark Cloud. You've got all of those
Dark
games
Cloud.
that are kind of like tapping into its lineage and bringing it
Mhm.
to the forefront. So for me, it's still a JRPG machine.
I don't disagree with you. Um, and I do think that PlayStation has had that legacy since probably the PS1. I mean, we're
Oh, yeah.
talking Final Fantasy 7 and the like, and everything
Yeah.
through up until this point. I mean, Xbox made a very concentrated push into Japan just to turn around and right back out because, like, think about all of like the storied JRPGs that we know. Final Fantasy, I mean, of course, started back in the NES and SNES, but I really would argue found its footing on PlayStation.
Absolutely.
Persona,
Yep.
Yakuza, you have
Yep.
all of these JRPGs that have been known and have
Right.
now gone multi-platform because of the success they found on PlayStation. But let me ask you this, Denny. Do you think that will continue to be the case? I think the Switch has made a really bold claim for the RPG machine. I think the
Yeah.
rise of the PC handhelds like the Steam Deck make a really bold claim. I think it could be a possibility if they genuinely drop a successor to the Vita and
Yep.
they add in that handheld component,
Yep.
because I still love my
Well,
handheld, my JRPGs handheld. Do you think it will continue to be this way in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think so because if you think about it, you mentioned the Vita and the Stream Deck, but we haven't even talked about the Portal,
Sure, good
right?
point.
So that's an opportunity for you to take your ARPG and go handheld as long as you have a wireless connection.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it's possible, and the Switch does make a great handheld RPG machine. But I mean, maybe I'm just old school. I'm the guy. There's a case of soda, a huge bucket of popcorn, or a snack of your choice. You've got a whole Sunday evening. You're sitting in front of your TV and you're just grinding. You're just
Yeah.
grinding. And that's an experience I still have yet, even playing RPGs on like the Xbox. Like I played Blue Dragon on the Xbox 360 and Lost
Mhm.
Odyssey and Enchanted Arms. It's not the same. It's just different when you're doing it on your PS5 or PS4 or PS3.
I don't disagree, and I think that's a really good point. Jay Lydia in the chat, Switch is a test bed for ideas. If it does well, like Octopath 1 does, it will be ported to PlayStation. Yep,
Mm.
I think
And
that's a great point.
perfect. Yeah, perfect examples. When the sequel came out, they were simultaneously released on the Switch and on the PS5.
Mhm. This was a fantastic question, Ed.
Great
I'm
question.
curious to kind of revisit this in a year or two's time because I think,
Yeah.
given COVID and everything else that the industry has been through over the course of the last 5 years, I don't think this generation has really started across the board. And I feel like
Yeah.
next year could be, if rumors are true, alongside the Switch 2, alongside GTA 6, alongside of whatever PlayStation's been cooking.
Yeah.
I think we could get a really big year next year.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to kind of revisit this conversation to see where we land, because I think PlayStation wants to be the home of the first person shooter. I don't think
Right.
we can call it that yet.
Right.
No.
I feel like, just to echo what everything that you're saying there too, like the PS5 at this point is like it's a great tribute to the previous generations of PlayStation,
Mhm.
and it honors that really, really well. So all of those experiences, Denny, like what you were saying, this PS5 reinforces its legacy.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah.
that's where we land on, I think, for the question.
Even I think both of you make a good point when it comes to legacy and PlayStation Plus, because this
Mhm.
is, we have a lot access to a lot of that back catalog now through, I mean, premium, and again, is still a service in work. Premium needs more
Right.
love and it needs more than the drip feed that we've been getting, but
Oh
it
boy.
it does offer a way to play those older titles.
Yeah.
But ask Rice about Sony taking Project Gummy Bears instead of letting it die.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
Project Gummy Bears.
Project Gummy Bears? I don't know what that is.
Please elaborate. I'm
I-
searching that right now.
I
Me
don't
too.
know. I don't know what Project Gummy Bears is. Is it the I'm a gummy bear?
I hope
I'm a
not.
gummy bear. Because that's the only thing.
Oh, you're talking about Bungie's like MOBA. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's what that's called. That's a name.
Yeah, it's the code name.
Yeah, they're MOBA.
I will reserve my for another episode because Yeah, I will reserve those opinions, but that's a great question.
We'll recircle. Maybe once we actually see what that thing is,
We'll circle
dive
back. We'll
in
circle
here.
back.
Unless we never do because it gets canned along the way. We'll find out. But that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Denny, my dude, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. This was a hell of a time.
Where could people see and hear more of you if people wanted to find you?
The best place is Twitch. I stream on there regularly, a couple times a week. And if not, you're probably hearing me reels on Instagram.
Go check out Denny and all the spots. Rice, my dude, where can people find you?
Thing on Twitch at Rice BOYYY TV, and same handle on my link tree. Everybody, follow me on socials. Let's interact.
Go find Rice and Denny in all the spots. You can find me, of course, here at Console Creatures. You can find me at butwhythough.net, and you can find me here each and every week on PlayStation Generation and at Matt_SilverSoul on X, the seminal social media platform. That brings us to the end of this week's episode, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week at our regularly scheduled time. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Be well.
Bye.